Next question comes from Thanos Rules. What do you believe defines success for a comic book character? Issue count, movie count, fanfic volume, etc.
Certainly not that last one, because, boy, everyone's got pages upon pages of
Fan fiction
that you should probably stay away from.
Hey.
What, I used to write it in high school. I'm not above it.
I think it's all relative to the character, really. I mean, I think that Iron Man is successful because now.
Right.
Like, before his movie, not so much. Then they made an Iron Man movie.
Nobody bet on that horse.
Yeah,
like,
nobody.
Like, Iron Man?
Now everybody's like,
fail.
yeah, Iron Man is so cool, you know, and the movie made him really cool.
Yeah.
And his character really resonates with audiences now, even people that don't read comic books.
I mean, if you're talking monetarily, it has to be Batman, right?
Right.
I can't be dreaming that.
Batman is the epitome of success.
Yeah.
But Superman hasn't had a very, very good luck in the movies lately.
I just
Even
think a lot of people, I think, don't like Superman because he's always been so powerful and he's always been kind of like a Boy Scout. You know, Batman's like edgy. He can be dark. You know, so I think
those people need to read Superman for all seasons. That's all I have to say about that.
I mean,
All-Star.
Yeah,
and All-Star. Yeah, All-Star.
I mean, Superman Returns had its problems. You know, it has nothing to do with the character. It's just the way the movie went.
I would say ultimately it's notoriety.
I would say ultimately it's the the amount of time they've existed. So,
you think so?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent, like Superman's been around, like, and he's been
consistently,
consistently for what, like 75 years.
But I mean, by that same logic, then he'll never be dethroned.
But then what about like Wolverine? Wolverine's been around since what, 70s, and
that's a long time.
But compared to Superman, who's been around since 38 or whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, like, they're still around.
Or what about Static Shock, who had a TV, was it the 90s?
I don't think anyone would argue that he's the most successful.
No, he's not successful, but people know who he is. I mean, he has a strong following. People, you know, they've been demanding the Milestone Comics return and all that, and, you know, are happy.
But, I mean, Spider-Man recently actually surpassed Superman as the most recognizable superhero worldwide. So, I mean, totally.
It's because of that Bollywood movie with...
Yes, that is the sole that and the play.
The
musical.
I mean, Spider-Man, he became like the icon for Marvel Comics. I mean, like in the 80s, I know especially, you know, instead of the UPC symbol, I mean, it was this picture of Spider-Man in every single comic. Like, you don't have Superman on all the DC comics. So Spider-Man is basically Marvel's mascot, I mean, regardless what you think.
Yeah.
So, but then, you know, he can't say necessarily movie count because Ghost Rider has had 2 movies.
And
I wouldn't say...
Well, the movie
terrible.
count, definitely not.
So, I mean,
like,
and, you know, you have other movies, you know,
Fantastic Four have had technically 3 movies.
You know, Constantine, whichever you prefer, had a movie. Do people even know that was a comic?
It was even a relatively successful movie.
So, yeah, it
wasn't good, but it made money.
I mean, maybe once they start making curtains and bed sheets and party plates of the character, that's when they're successful.
Yeah, maybe like when they transcend action figure
get the paper
and book.
books. When they have a party theme on that character.
When you can have like a Darkhawk birthday party, then
I think this is just a lot of layers.
I will be able to walk
to this answer.
Yeah, because I mean, we'll take like Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing's been around since the early 70s, I think. There was a movie for Swamp Thing.
Oh,
you know,
God,
long run, but you can't really say that Swamp Thing is a successful character because people don't really know who Swamp Thing is. Even though there's been
he's
so
not
many
extremely
great stories.
There was a series for Swamp Thing too on USA.
Yeah, so
it was like spun off from the movie.
USA.
Yeah. I remember the commercials for it. I think he even had a toy line from that somehow. Even though
every time I think of that network, I think of Law and Order, but
dun,
with
dun.
Chris Noth. Dun dun.